So now it will become a little bit more technical or more concrete. We will dive into key Azure concepts for the AZ-900 Azure Fundamentals exam. There are a couple of components which are essential for Microsoft Azure in general, not only for the exam but for Microsoft Azure, and those are definitely resource groups, because those are logical containers that hold Azure related resources for the application. So that's like, this is where you start. You can think about it like to be a folder, so which helps to organize and manage all the resources you need for specific project or application. For example, let's say you are building a web application, then your resource group can have a web application, so the content or the code in this, and then we will select a app service from Azure, one of the 200 plus. Another one could be a database in your application. Then we would select, for example, Azure SQL database, but there are other databases like Cosmos DB, but let's don't go that much deeply yet. We would like to store some images or storage account and some virtual network for connectivity. So you would have a folder with all these elements, and you would just have them all together, so you can keep things organized. So of course the pro is that you can organize things better. When you have things in a folder, you can also apply policies and permissions to all resources at once, so management will be simpler. Cost tracking, because you can monitor spending for this specific project, so it's for you can see how much the resource group has been taking from your budget. And at the end of the life cycle, when you want to delete everything, you can delete all together by removing resource groups instead of one by one, which can be sometimes really many elements in such a resource group. The next one, actually maybe even before you start with resource groups, you need to subscribe. So you need to have subscription. So you can, subscription basically are fundamental units for billing and also access management in Azure, but so you can manage the subscription, but consider this, it's like the name says, subscription. So you can, thanks to the subscription, the Azure becomes open to you, for example, and then in general it represents a billing relationship with Microsoft, and then you can just use it. You can start using the Azure. Then it's very common that first that there are many subscriptions. For example, because Azure is refresher, it's a very big enterprise focused. So for example, you can have one subscription for development environments, for testing environment another one, for production environment another one. Each would have its of billing and access controls. There are different types of subscription. The free trial, as of now, it's 12 months of free service with $200 credit. Later you just pay for what you use in a pay-as-you-go. There is also EA enterprise agreement for large organizations, and then it would come with volume licensing and specific pricing. There is also something for students. If you are a verified student, you can use it for free. Then when we have the subscription, then we have a resource group, or maybe many resource groups. Management groups will provide you a level of scope of both subscriptions. They help you to organize subscription into containers and apply governance conditions to those containers. So for example, you can have the management group. One is located in North America, one is in Asia, Europe, another in Asia, and each of them, for example, North American would like to have a different subscription for production and development environments. So they would have different management groups. They would be in this management group, but in different subscriptions. So that's how you can group it in a management group. The same for Europe, production, development, and then you would form a Europe management group. For the same for Asia. Asia management group would be only for related to Asian production subscription and Asian development subscriptions. We are using them because we want to apply policies across multiple subscriptions. We want to manage access control at scale, so it just like with deleting the resource groups, like also here we just want to group actions. We want to organize subscription by department, environment, or region, and implement consistent governance, among others benefits. And this, the last chunk is very big, actually, regions and availability zone, and it will be quite technical now, or a bit more. The previous was the fundamentals. Maybe the resource groups was a bit technical, and when it comes to regions, those are geographic areas containing one or more data centers. And availability zone would be a physical separate data center within a region. So you have a region, and within a region you can have availability zones. For example, region East US would have availability zone 1 as a primary data center, zone 2 as a backup data center, and there will be one more for disaster recovery, for example. And thanks to that, your application will be still available even if one of the data center fails. So now you are seeing first very big benefit of cloud, how regions and availability zones are set, and how much is done for you, so the application is up for a longer time than if you do it in a traditional way. That's a first big technical benefit. Thanks to that, you can we are getting the benefit of deploying resources across multiple zones, so we got a higher availability because it's not in one zone but in multiple. So in multiple physical separate data centers within a region, so within multiple availability zones. We are protecting against regional outages because we have more than one. Our application is in more than one data center. We are meeting compliance requirements. That's also important these days. Lots of regulations, and we would pick the region which is closest to your which is closest to your users. So it's also a performance benefit. And we are not leaving regions and availability zones, but we are digging deeper. Region pairs. Those are two regions within the same geography that are paired together for disaster recovery and high availability. So for example, East US was paired with West US and are creating region pair. The same for Central US with East US 2, and they are creating region pair. Or North Central US with South Central US, they are creating a region pair again. And West US 2, West US 3. For example, because there are more. Thanks to them, again, is the same benefits, basically automatic replication, failover support, so it it's good for it helps with disaster recovery. Cross-region redundancy and low distribution helps with high availability. Compliance requires our data sovereignty, helps with data residency, and there are planned updates and there are service updates, so we are better with maintenance. Yeah, I can add to that for example, in region pairs you have direct fiber optic connection between pair regions. There's automating replication of data between pairs, sequential updates to minimize downtime. Of course, compliance, but also there's guaranteed RTO, recovery time objective. But for now, you don't need to know all of things. Before I go next, for example, this can be used in disaster recovery, of course, for business continuity, for data protection. In high availability, you deploy to multiple regions, also for load balancing. When it comes to compliance, it helps with data residency and regulatory requirements, and peer performance gain thanks to global distribution, which thanks to this we got a lower latency. So sovereign regions are very special Azure regions. Most likely you won't work with them. I also haven't, or not yet. They are physically and logically isolated from the main Azure regions, designated to meet some specific requirements, compliance, security, etc., etc. They are very special, very special. And there are a couple of them. For US government, there are Virginia, Texas, Arizona, DoD. Actually, I don't know what is DoD. US Gov, DoD, Department of Defense. So even though China, East, North, Germany, Central, Northeast. So they're very special. There is physical isolation. I have it here. They have separate data center, dedicated infrastructure. Also logical isolation, separate network, access controls, compliance, government standards, industrial regulations, and there are also local operations, specialized support for them. Of course, they will be used by the government. So as we have seen, DoD defense contract, public sectors, federal agencies, military. Very regulated industries like healthcare, finance, critical infrastructure. Think about maybe water or electricity. Compliance requirements, also when there is a big focus on security standards and compliance. Before I will go to next slide, maybe I want to add that there's different service availability for them, so that's how you can feel how it is important. Of course, it comes with very unique pricing and licensing, restricted access requirements, separate support channels, separate Azure portal with already the logical separation. And there are very specialized certification to compliance for certification. Now, this is the last bit of our Azure regions and availability zones, also very important. Those are physical facilities that house the computing infrastructure for Azure services, Azure data centers, I mean. They are designed with multiple layers of security, redundancy, and environmental control. So there is physical security, for example, there will be always somebody there because there is 24/7 security personnel. It can be done, the entrance might be only with biometric access. There will be video surveillance, security perimeters, all this crazy stuff you can imagine in movies. There will be very solid infrastructure like power systems, cooling systems, network. For example, you get UPS systems, backup generator for the power. There There will be also multiple power feeds for cooling. Think about temperature control, redundant cooling, for network fiber connectivity like we had between the availability zones, for example, or redundant paths. Also, lots of work done for you, lots of work. And yeah, for example, when there's a fire, there is protection against the fire, against the flood. So if there's a flood, your application will be still working. This is crazy. Climate control. For example, with I'm not sure if in Azure, but in my career I have heard that there are some data centers which, when there's a flood, the building just goes up and then it doesn't sink. It just floats on the water. This is crazy. Let me check if this is there. Azure data centers floating during flood. Those are not, but those are not to float, but for Azure. But I'm telling you that I met one in my career. But let me see. But I think they are working on that as of today. Yeah, I think they are working. Anyway, no, I clicked too quickly. And lots of features, security features we talk about, but about physical security, but there will be also network security like DDoS, firewalls, encryptions, operational security, staff screening. You can think about all kind of protocol, crazy protocols at work, environments we talk about. Yeah, they also try to be more green, so carbon footprint, waste reduction, etc. Try to be power on renewable energy. Those, of course, data centers are well monitored. There are also there is lots of maintenance going on. There's lots of support there. It's all done for you, so your application can be working. You don't need to do it. Lots of certifications, ICO standards, industry standards like SOC, PCI, DSS, regional compliance, GDPR, like where I live, for example, in Europe, CCPA for people from California, but there are also many other local regulations. Important to know. It's continuous monitored and maintained. Regular security audits. Yeah, again, compliance with local regulators. Environmental impact is reduced. And before actually, I will jump to my next class, because in the next one we will be talking about cloud computing fundamentals. Then actually let me show you also a bit of Azure from some of these parts. So if I go to Microsoft Azure, azureMicrosoft.com, I will click get started with Azure. I will click try for free, and then actually this might be more interesting than all my talking. I will create account for the purpose of this course. I will create with my email. I will get a security code. So this is how actually you will yeah, for those who want to get more hands-on, this is actually more interesting part. Maybe I took a bit too long. Okay. Yeah, June. This is my birthday. If you want to tell me birthday, My name is Daniel, I'm Danielewski, and then I don't want emails. Then there is some kind of security control. Hopla, and we are in. So what will happen now? I don't want to do this for now. Yes, so this is what's happening. Something didn't work now. Yeah, you can face a million of problems in this kind of environment. Okay, you know what? Then I will click portal.azure.com, and this is actually our Azure portal. So now we can, for example, you will get a pop-up, start the tour. Let me click, then we will get all the tour. So in the first one, we will create a resource. This is a home. Then this is a dashboard, would come later. Those are our services, favorites. You can use the search, very good one. Notification, help and support, and account information. So that's how it looks as of today. So if I click this one, this is about Microsoft Cloud. So not. So, but you can already see there will be crazy amount of integrations with Azure. And then I will create a resource. When I create a resource, you can have a lot of them. This can be a bit overwhelming, right? But let's create something what we have been talking about. Resource group. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so I will start with Azure free trial because I have to do that. One moment, this if I clicked doesn't work. Oh, but for some reason I cannot do that. Then I will cheat a little bit, subscriptions, because this is actually what I should create first. Try Azure for free. No, there is some problem. So then I will pay as you go. You know what? I will do that in a different browser. So this is what you can also do that in a different browser. And then I will tell you if it was possible. I mean, it will be of course possible. The question is how long it will take. So last time we could not create. Okay, on a different browser. I will show you. I can create a. I was able to do everything. So then I will select everything what is needed. Phone, I'm not sure if this is really needed. Okay, we got some very hard robot check. Yeah, I need to add my number. Yeah, oh my goodness, XYZ, no one will check it. For example, to be more precise, I should be here. Okay, so only this one I have to pick. and this is taking a lot of time. Okay, and then you will also need to provide when it will be finally done, you will need to create add a card. Well, I'm using a disposable Revolut, so it will be so then it will be gone anyways. Yeah, I think there is my different yeah, I have Revolut on my different address, and and I will try to use an even different card. Let me check. Maybe like this. Okay, then I will choose use a different application. I will delete it straight after the recording, so it doesn't make sense to use it. Okay, I think we are there. And I think I can go back to my record or to my Azure, yeah, to my to my browser where I am recording. Yes. Okay. And now this is what I will do. Yeah, so this was a little bit of a pain, but yeah, this can happen to everybody. And it's good that we had, so you know what kind of problems there might be. Yeah, so then we got a quick start, then we can click a start, then you can go through all of these things if you want. I will skip it because it will go just too long, for example. Then you can get all kind of videos, etc. It's a good to start. But going back to actually our recording. So I have subscription, right? Okay, oh my goodness, this doesn't work again. I want to multiple factor authentication enforcement. Okay. Okay, so again, I will try a subscription after all these things, and then I got a subscription. So this is where you got a subscription. In subscription, I'm not going to go through all of this, but then this subscription we have ID, we have the management group. Yes, we also talk about this, and then if I go here and now create the resource group, I click a create, so this is my resource group. Then I need to have a subscription, so this comes first. I set a test RG, and then I set a region. So we talk about everything: my subscription, resource groups, and regions. So I click next. This we can skip, and here we are creating a resource group. So we created our very first service in Azure. So and then let me go within the resource group. Let me refresh. I need to refresh within the resource groups. Then there are many different types of options. I'm not going to go through yet. And yeah, availability zones, etc. you can forget for now. But we have seen a region. Let me just a moment. Properties maybe. You can see, here you can see the location. What the availability zones is going under the hood for you. Regions, pairs, sovereign regions is not included here, of course. And what else we could also talk about? Yeah, Azure Data Center is also in the background. It's in the it's the physical locations, management group. So if I click here, select this one, you can also have that's how you can see tenant group, root group. And if I go to subscription, and if I would add another one, subscription 2, let me see. But now I cannot do that anymore because I have here I can have only one, otherwise I will need to upgrade my account. But I can also help you this show you these things. I just need to turn off something, because otherwise my screen will be black very soon. Screen time. Okay, it's off. Okay, I'm going for my phone. Okay, and then here, as you can see, I'm not going to do that, but if I want to select one of these more expensive plans, then I could create another subscription, and then I could use management groups to manage different types of subscriptions. If you are in a big company where, for example, each department has there are departments, so each department will have a different subscription. One. Within the department, you can also divide by teams, or you can divide per resource. For example, front-end infrastructure will be on Azure subscription 1. Infrastructure for backend will be on Azure in subscription 2. And when you have more than one subscriptions, it went, because I didn't expect we'll be recording that long. It will be gone in 5 seconds. And when you have more than one subscription, then you can make a use of management groups. We will not make any more use of management groups, to be honest, practically, because it will be only one subscription. Subscription management groups and resource groups we also cover in practice, what was on the slides. Regions also we have seen during creating resources. We can select a region. Everything else is happening under the hood or physically for you, what we talk about. So what we could show practically, we have shown along with creating Azure account. So I think I hope you are satisfied, maybe doing a bit too long, and now I'll be again going a little bit into theory because I will be talking about cloud computing fundamentals, which will be mostly slides in the next recording. Thank you so much, and I will talk to you very quickly in the next class.